Hi friends, I welcome to all into my YouTube channel Literature Insights, an easy platform to learn English language and literatures in English. If you have not subscribed my YouTube channel Literature Insights yet, so please subscribe it by pressing the bell icon on your screen for getting further notifications and updates of my coming videos. In my today's tutorial, I am going to explain you the short story written by Oscar Wilde, The Model Millionaire. Before proceeding today's topic of the short story, The Model Millionaire, it is significant to make aware the learners of English about Oscar Wilde. The Oscar Wilde is one of the significant writer in English literature. He was born on 16th October 1854 in Dublin, and he was died on 13th November 1900 in Paris. He was an Irish writer, poet, playwright, and he has written in a different forms throughout the 1880s, and he became the most popular writer in 1890s in London, and he was honored with the most prestigious award in literature, the Newdigate Prize, in 1878. Here I have given some of the major works of Oscar Wilde in English literature. Let's see one by one. The complete short stories written in 1880 as a collection of short stories. The Happy Prince and Other Tales as a romantic allegory in the form of fairy tale. The Decay of Lying written in 1889 in the form of an essay. The Picture of Dorian Gray, his only novel in literature. Lady Windermere's Fan written in 1892, and The Importance of Being Earnest written in 1895, both are plays. The Ballad of Reading Gaol written in 1898 as a poem. So these are the significant works written in different forms by Oscar Wilde in English literature. The Model Millionaire is a short story of Oscar Wilde. It is taken from the complete short stories as a collection of short stories written in 1880 by Oscar Wilde in English literature. In this story, he has been used the third person narration to interpret the stories, and the narrator is absent or unknown to the readers throughout the story. Now, before proceeding the analysis of the story, it is significant to make aware the learners of English about the characters that played a significant role in the development of the plot or story. So let's see the characters of the short story, The Model Millionaire, one by one. Hughie Erskine, the protagonist of the short story. He is an handsome man, an attractive and charming personality. He was equally famous in men and women, but having no money. Laura Martin, the beloved of Hughie Erskine and the daughter of retired colonel. She is the most absent character in the short story. She appeared rarely. Colonel Martin, the father of Laura Martin. Alan Tower, the painter, the artist and friend of Hughie Erskine. Baron Hausberg, the rich man of Europe or the millionaire of the Europe. The employee of the Baron Hausberg that appeared in the last part show story. The story having the proper beginning, middle and end, and the event is interlocked to one another. The Model Millionaire is an interesting short story of Oscar Wilde. The story opens with an amazing lines. Unless one is wealthy, there is no use of being charming fellow. Romance is the privilege of the rich and not the profession of unemployed or the poor. The poor should be practical and prosaic. It is better to have a permanent income than to be fascinating. So these are the great modern truths explained by Oscar Wilde throughout the story, but these modern truths that are not realized by his protagonist of the story or the character Hughie Erskine. So now here in this story we have find the Hughie Erskine is the protagonist of the short story, who is a crisped curly hairs, and he is looking very handsome enchanting and charming fellow who is equally famous in men and women, but he has not enough money in his pocket. So after the death of his father kept him as his heritage or heirs the chivalry sword and some books that are not useful for Huey Erskine. So after the death of his father, he led his life with the assistance or help of his old aunt, who provided him £2,000 throughout the year, on which he will fulfill his daily needs. During this life career, he has been tried his luck in a stock exchange for 6 months. There he got disappointment. After that, he has been started the tea merchant business, where he also disappointed. And after that, he started to sell the dry fruits sherry, which was used in the made of wine. But here we can also find he is disappointed and become a failure once again. So in this story, Oscar Wilde has created the character having the perfect profile but no profession and no money. That is very significant to lead the life. Then he was in love with Laura Martin, the daughter of the retired colonel, and she was also equally in love. They were the most handsomest couple in London but had no money or penny. So now here colonel was also fond of Huey Erskine, but he was not ready to make an engagement of Laura Martin with Huey Erskine. So for the sake of make their engagement, he put forth one condition before the protagonist of the story, that is, "Come to me, my boy, when you have got your £10,000, then we will see about it." So now these lines are remarkable for the protagonist of the story, and now here we can find the attitudes of the father which are unbending. That Huey Erskine was on his way to Holland Park, where the Martin family lived, and he dropped there to visit his great friend Alan Tabor, who was a painter. He was also an artist, and artists are rare nowadays. But personally, he is looking very rough with a freckled face and red ragged beard. So overall, he looked a very rough and strange fellow. But when he took up his brush in his hands, his artistry came out on the canvas of the paper of painting, and he looks very artistic over there. Now here we can understand that Alan Tabor and Huey Erskine was a close friend from their childhood, and they are sharing personal elements to each other. So now here the Huey Erskine has interpreted or narrated his own story to Alan Tabor about his love, that is Laura Martin. So he knows each and everything about the financial drawbacks and financial status of Huey Erskine. How does he struggling in his today's life due to his financial instability. Huey Erskine came into the studio of Alan Tabor, and he found that he was giving finishing touches of his life-size picture of Beggar Man. The beggar was standing in the raised platform in the corner of a studio, and now here we can find the appearance of the beggar man that is represented in the paintings of Alan Tabor. He was an old wizened man. He has a wrinkled face and a most piteous expressions on his face. Shoulders were laid down, and he was not looking so confident or energetic. He wore all tears and tattered clothes, his thick boots patched and cobbled, and with one hand he leant on his rough stick that is carry for the walking on the street, while with the other hand he held out a battered hat for arms. So this is the total appearance or the pictures of the beggar man is portrayed by Alan Tabor through his paintings. By seeing the picture of that beggar man, Hugh Erskine whispered, "What an amazing model!" So he shook his hand with his friend Alan Tarver in appreciations. What a master kind of model he has created through his paintings. After the creation of masterpiece model of beggar man, Hugh Erskine asked, "How much do you get for this picture?" Then Alan Tarver replied that, "I got for this picture £2,000." And then he asked again, "How much percent you give to this income to the beggar man?" Because he said, "They work as hard as you work in your paintings on easel." Then Alan Tarver did not comment. Suddenly there is a servant man came and called him to Alan Tarver to speak with the frame workman who is in studio. So in absence of Alan Tarver, the beggar man take the advantage of this, and he has taken rest on the wooden bench which was behind Hugh Erskine. Now by seeing the condition of that beggar man, who is looking forlorn, melancholic, sad and piteous expressions on his face, we could not help him only to showing a pity on his conditions, but instead of he had put his hand in his pocket to see what money he had, and he could found a sovereign and some coppers in his pocket. By seeing the worst conditions of that beggar man, so walking through the studio, he slapped that sovereign or coppers in the hands of that beggar man. Then there was a reply from the side of that old beggar man, "Thank you, sir." He also said thank you. Then suddenly there is the arrival of Alan Tarver, but Hugh Erskine left the studio to his home, and before reaching to his home, he has narrated the story happened in the studio to Laura Martin, and she got irritated upon the expenditure done by Hugh Erskine in these critical situations. One night, Hugh Erskine strolled into the Palette Club, and at 11 o'clock, where he found Alan Tarver was sitting in the club and smoking a cigarette. He make an inquiry about the painting done by Alan Tarver in his studio. "Have you finished or completed your paintings?" Then Alan Tarver replied, "Yes, my boy, I have completed my paintings and framed also." So now here he also narrated some of the another aspects of the story. Here that beggar man make an inquiry about the Hugh Erskine in a very intimate manner. By seeing the worst condition of the wretched man who looks so miserable, and suddenly idea came into the mind of Hugh Erskine that he had at his home the heap of old clothes that will be useful for the beggar man. So here we can find the approach or attitude of Hugh Erskine, that is kind-hearted, kindness, generosity and philanthropic in nature. So now he wants to do something in favor of that old beggar man. Here Alan Tarver replied that he looks splendid in a teared and tattered cloth. I could not paint him in a frock coat. What you call rags, I call romance. What seems poverty to you is a picturesqueness to me. So now here the Oscar Wilde has revealed the significance of the beggar man through the painting of Alan Tarver. So now here the costumes of the beggar man is appropriate, and we cannot change his poverty or a fortune. Hugh Erskine replied seriously to Alan Tarver, "The painter is a heartless a lot." Vice versa, Alan Tarver replied that an artist's heart is hate. So artist never think with emotions. Instead of emotion, he thinks with an intellect. Hugh Erskine asked him, "You mean you talked to him about her?" And then Alan Tarver replied, "Certainly I talk to about her. I talk about her relentless father, Colonel Martin, the beautiful Laura, and £10,000. So the old model knows everything about you. By listening these words, irritated upon Alan Tower. As the story moves forward, here the Alan Tower unfolds the realistic story of the model. Now what you call the old beggar man, he is not a beggar man, but he is a rich man or millionaire in Europe. He can buy entire London tomorrow without withdrawing any money from his bank account. He has a house in every capital. He dines off in a gold plates. He can prevent Russia before going to war when he decides or chooses. So now here the rich man is nothing but Baron Hausberg, who has a socio-political and economical dimension in Europe. The beggar man is none but Baron Hausberg, the richest man or the millionaire in Europe. By listening the name of Baron Hausberg, he Erskine surprised or shocked. God heavens, I gave him a sovereign, and he sank into armchair in a relentless or in a melancholy. So what I have done by behaving in this manner with the millionaire of Europe? Alan Travel told him that he was interested to know all about you, and perhaps he have been invested your sovereign for the benefits to you. By listening all these, Hugh Erskine became so melancholic, sad, and he said, I am an unlucky devil. So now here he requested to Alan Travel not to tell anyone this story happened in your studio, and now here he should not dare to show his face to anyone, because he has humiliated the richest man or the millionaire of Europe, Baron Hausberg, he thought. But instead of that, Alan Travers says, Hugh Erskine's behavior in the studio reflects the philanthropic spirit or nature as admitted and appreciated by Baron Hausberg. So Hugh wouldn't stop and walked to home, feeling very unhappy about Baron Hausberg. And the next morning at the time of breakfast, there were the appearance the employee from the Baron Hausberg's office on his door, and Hugh Erskine thought that he came here for apologize. The employee said, I came from Baron Hausberg's office. I beg you, sir, that you will offer my sincerest apologies for the Baron Hausberg, said Hugh Erskine. The employee from the Baron's office said to the gentleman Hugh Erskine, he sent to me to hand over the letter and envelope, and outside of envelope was written, a wedding present to Hugh Erskine and Laura Martin from the old beggar, and inside was a check of £10,000 that was a gift for the wedding of Laura Martin and Hugh Erskine. In the story of Oscar Wilde, here we can find the optimistic end of the story. The Hugh Erskine received the letter and a sealed envelope from the Baron Hausbergs, which contained a £10,000 as a wedding gift for their new beginning of life. With this optimistic note, Alan Tower remarked about the model millionaires. Models are rare enough, but the model millionaires are rarer still. So this is the highlighting features of Baron Hausberg. So now here we can see the attitude or behavior expressed by Hugh Erskine in Alan Tower's studio to the old beggar man. Story, The Model Millionaire, we can find the act of generosity and kindness of Hugh Erskine repaid with the Baron Hausberg in the form of £10,000 as a wedding gift for the new beginning of Laura Martin and Hugh Erskine's life. The Model Millionaire, Oscar Wilde beautifully portrayed theme of appearance, generosity, kindness, friendship, commitment, connection, struggle, charity, and happiness. The story is based upon the love between Hugh Erskine and Laura Martin. how do they struggle to fulfill their love, and it ends with the marriage. Now here the Oscar Wilde has given a message to the modern youth, and he said it is better to have a permanent income than to be fascinating. So now here he has given very important message to the youth of modern period. It is not important to look handsome, but it is important to have a permanent income. So this is the story written by Oscar Wilde on the Model Millionaire. So I hope you understand this story explained by me. So in my description I have given some of the questions which are useful for the assignment of the learners of English. So before take your leave, if you like my videos on the short story written by Oscar Wilde, the Model Millionaire, please share, subscribe my YouTube channel Literature Insights for getting further notifications and updates of my coming videos. Thank you for watching.